Marhaba, and hello once again. I'm American historian Dr. Jack Dempsey. With me is Palestinian Gaza historian Muhammad Jihad Ismael. Today is Sunday, February 9th, 2025. This is our second of two programs about this book. Tomorrow we'll answer Horror and Hope in Palestine by my brother, Muhammad. And so we're talking further about the ideas in this book and their very unique perspective that you don't get, to our knowledge, anywhere else about how the Palestinians see their situation, what they expect and want to happen. And Muhammad has very important and balanced and human and compassionate things to say about all these issues. So we have lost Muhammad again. We are always struggling in this wonderful podcast against some kind of interference. Hamas, Israel, both of them, they don't seem to want to facilitate our connection. So we are constantly interrupted. And I try to talk to you while Muhammad struggles back into our signal, we hope. I don't have this problem on Zoom with anyone else in the world with whom I talk. So there is something strange about our lack of a solid signal, and it could simply be the war. Here comes Muhammad now. Muhammad, you're back with us. Hello. Hello, brother.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Yeah.
How are you today, and what is life like for you today? Tomorrow, you must go and walk many kilometers again to catch water, to bring bottles of water to your household. Are you able to get
Yeah.
food, Muhammad, and how are things there in Deir al-Balah?
Yes, brother. Unfortunately, the situation is not good at all, and we have no advancement, no improvement in the situation during this so-called ceasefire.
Yes.
Uh, we are suffering a lot in order to find water, to find food, to find medicine. It's very bad situation. According to the estimations of the Euromed Center, they mentioned yesterday that right now 110 Palestinians were killed in Gaza during the so-called ceasefire. So during the so-called ceasefire, we have right now over 100 Palestinians were killed and over 900 Palestinians were injured. So practically, it's not a ceasefire.
And no one would know better than you, Muhammad. No one would know better than you that Israel, do your homework, has never honored the terms of a ceasefire. They have been killing people also in southern Syria, in Lebanon. The Houthis, they are at war with virtually everyone. They have never honored a ceasefire in their history. It's simple historical fact. Look it up and you'll see that we're telling the truth. I just want to add, you and our common brother
Yeah,
Tawfiq, your close friend
of
Tawfiq,
course.
you and Tawfiq are the two men, the warriors of love in your family, and you must go and walk many kilometers to get fresh water, bottled water from various agencies, or even paying for it from Hamas. But on the way back, you and Tawfiq had to jump into shell holes and into cover because you are still being shelled with artillery and bombs and other explosive devices, killer drones. You have to take shelter along the way carrying cases of water. And even NASA will tell you there is nothing heavier than water, or so it seems. Muhammad, many people around the world, they go shopping for their household needs, for their groceries, and they complain about every aspect of it. But none of them have to dodge artillery shells. So your smile, brother, to me is always an amazing and wonderful thing to see that you are surviving, that you are holding on.
Yes, brother. Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
see where
also in addition to the artillery fire, you have to walk inside a jungle of rubble. You cannot imagine how can we walk within the rubble. You know, there is no paved way to walk through, but you have to jump inside the rubble. It's a very, very painful way. You know, you have to walk a painful journey in order to fill some few cases of water.
and there's a natural thing I could compare that to, Muhammad. Here in Crete, the mountains, the hills are very much covered with stone and with groups of plants that are often very unpleasant to step into. So if you want to climb or to hike anywhere, you must walk very carefully. You must keep your eyes down for each next step. Every next step, you must be careful so that you do not get hurt. And so you are doing this under artillery fire. I think you have frozen again, Muhammad. We hope we haven't lost you. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I got what you said.
Well, Muhammad, let's get to our subject for today. Tomorrow we'll answer horror and hope in Palestine. Muhammad, a big question to ask you up front here in part 2 as we go deeper, I think, into your thinking. Why did you write this book? And what do you hope that people will take from it most importantly? Why did you write it when you are being tortured in every way, Muhammad? How did you write it? Why did you write it? And what do you want it to give people?
Yeah, actually, I have so many motivations beyond writing this book and presenting this book to the readers. First of all, I think that there is no clear or honest source of news about what's happening inside Gaza. Unfortunately, most of the global media are broadcasting some sort of propaganda. Everything is polluted. Unfortunately, they doesn't reflect the real facts. They doesn't reflect the real facts of the situation of Gaza. This is one motivation. Another motivation, unfortunately, I noticed that those millions of people are marching around the world and making demonstrations to support Palestinians and express solidarity with them. Unfortunately, I discovered that the vast majority of those people who are supporting Palestine through marches, unfortunately, they are supporting Palestine in a wrong way, not in a good way or a useful way. If you just try to listen to their slogans, they are saying, they are shouting, Palestine will be free from river to the sea. Is this a useful way of support to Palestine? Is it possible to make Palestine from the river to the sea? They are repeating the same slogans of Hamas. So I think it's not possible. It's not possible to support the Palestinians of Gaza by such a way. You have to be more realistic. You have to be more logic. Yeah. So that's why I think that the majority of those people are supporting Palestine in a wrong way, not in a good way, not in a helpful way. Yeah. So I used in my book to address those people, to talk with them, trying to give them some realistic solutions for the conflict between the Israelis and Palestinians here in the holy territories, the Holy Land, which is flowing with milk and honey. Yeah. So these are the two most important motifs. Number one, I try to give some reliable or some factual source of information about what's happening here in Gaza. Number two, I tried to correct the compass of those millions who are marching for Palestine and unfortunately supporting Palestine in a bad way, not in a helpful way. In my book, I am calling for two states, Palestinian state and Israeli state. I don't accept sweeping the Jews or the Israelis into the Mediterranean, and to make one state for the Palestinians from the river to the sea. So we have to correct the compass of those people who are marching for us and expressing solidarity with us.
So you are asking us to think very carefully, Muhammad, about the words that we use, because the words that we use will either help us or take us into a dark place where we make mistakes. Hamas is a heroic organization who is resisting the devils in Israel. They think that by making each other out as enemies and victims, that somehow this will lead to a good place. And you're saying that it has done the opposite. You are the Palestinian people. You are broadcasting from a bunker in your house in Deir al-Balah. Your world has been destroyed. And these are the results that both sides bring to us. So let me ask you, Muhammad, one of the most important things in your book is that your mind is so careful to help us understand both sides, to help us understand where the mistakes have been made on both sides. Can you talk a little about the mistakes that Hamas has made and the mistakes that Israel has made?
Yeah. Let's start with Hamas. I think the Persian crazy adventure of October 7th, this transborder attack, I think it was a very, very painful turning point in the history, in the contemporary history of the Palestinian people. Unfortunately, we have harvested very, very painful consequences
Mohammed, I'm afraid
and results after this crazy act.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I couldn't accept the way which Hamas used to behave against the Israelis. I cannot accept killing and murdering and even kidnapping babies and
Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. The internet, as you see, is.
women
It's interesting that
and elders to kidnap them. To
when he talks about Hamas, this
and
happens.
I think this is a big violation.
Go ahead, Mohammed, if you can. Go ahead, Mohammed, if you can. Ladies and gentlemen, bear with us. This happens every single time. We've been trying for years to get any kind of coherent, uninterrupted program out to you because Mohammed's point of view, I think you already agree, is pretty unique and pretty well informed. He can demonstrate that to you much more if the internet services will allow. Israel, Hamas, United States, both of them. This happens to us every time. So if it lasts much longer, we'll have to say goodbye, but we may be able to put these up as an example. There he is, wholesale gone. Now he's back. Thank you very much for your patience because what Muhammad has to say is important, and we're going to continue to try to communicate that. Come on, Muhammad. Come on back to us. Come on, Muhammad. Come on back to us. Muhammad, do you hear me? I guess you could say we're fighting part of the war right here.
Yes, brother.
Oh, there he is. Muhammad, are you with me? Muhammad, do you hear me?
Yes, yes, brother.
Okay, so you were saying the mistakes that Hamas has made. In the book, you mentioned the belief in the promise of the hereafter and the idea that Israel will fall in its 18th year or whatever that number is, supposedly based in the Quran. That Hamas people, some of them, or the most powerful, believe in these myths that Israel will disappear, Israel will fall apart, and they will take over all of Palestine. Look at the mistake they made on October 7th. It was not possible to even think that October 7th could bring down the state of Israel. So what more do you see of Hamas's mistakes, Muhammad? I am so sorry. We try to keep good humor about it as this beautiful man does. You see his smile. He's trying so hard. I wonder if this can qualify as a drama today. We'll see what happens. Hope you're laughing along with us. There he is.
I am
Muhammad.
back.
Yeah, you're back. I frame a question and you disappear. So again, what further mistakes, Muhammad, would you say that Hamas has made?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, Hamas has all the political Islam movements. They are using religion as a transportation mean. They are using religion as a taxi which you hire it with 3 or 4 or 5 euros to take you from your house to your destination. So, unfortunately, they used to misuse the religion and the religious slogans and the religious texts, exactly like the Israelis on the other side, who used to justify this genocide with their biblical texts
Yes.
and their biblical heritage. Yeah, Hamas used to risk the lives of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians.
He has frozen again. Is that possible? I think maybe we just cannot torment our audience much longer. I hope you'll give me a second to wrap up a couple of important things about all this, and we will continue to try. Muhammad, continue, please.
Yes, yes,
Continue,
yeah.
please.
Uh,
So,
so Hamas has put the lives of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza in a big risk, and Hamas has brought them a fierce mass killing and genocide, just as a result of some religious legends, some religious hallucinations. Unfortunately, yeah, like the promise of.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we can't do this anymore today, so I'm going to conclude the program here. One very important thing, please look under more with this video. Now Muhammad's coming back. We have a GoFundMe to help Muhammad and his family emigrate, and we hope you'll look for the link there and contribute as little as $10 to a real future for his family, his children, because there is no foreseeable future thanks to Israel's onslaught in Gaza. Muhammad, would you like to try to continue? Would you like to try to
Yeah,
continue?
yeah. On,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. On the other
So,
side, on the other side, on the other side, the Israelis, unfortunately, they doesn't get lessons from their history. Unfortunately, they doesn't get a learned lessons from their history. Unfortunately, since the establishment of Israel 77 years ago, right now, Israelis have committed a huge number of massacres. Unfortunately, they didn't learn that those massacres are bringing them so many problems uh, at all over the world. They are bringing them so many problems. Unfortunately, they are insisting always to be murders, to be killing the Palestinians by this way. Unfortunately, they didn't get the learned lessons. Unfortunately, they doesn't want to change their mentality. They insist to be repressive against the Palestinians.
So Mohammed, both sides have been, I think it's clearly demonstrated, both sides we can see have been completely counterproductive. They insist on their point of view and they act accordingly, and they produce the opposite result. Hamas creates more Israeli attacks against a state they cannot defeat, right? Neither side can defeat the other. If thousands of Hamas fighters have been killed, there are 15,000 new recruits for Hamas because of the violence from Israel. Both sides repeat their mistakes, and look at the results. So this is to say, Mohammed, that you are making a gesture like this. You are pointing us in a certain direction. What is the next step? I'll tell you something important I notice about your book is that in the end, it is not helpful to either side to talk about the crimes. It is not helpful to talk about the crimes that have been committed, but rather the mistakes, because it is more honest to admit that we have made mistakes and we have a basis to forgive each other. We have a reason to forgive each other when we know we have made mistakes. This is a very powerful thing in your book, Mohammed. No one else speaks like this. I will stop now, but this is why the Israeli professor at Tel Aviv University who read your book said this is like a constitution for coexistence. A constitution for coexistence. You mentioned before 1948 in many of our programs, Mohammed, that people did live together. They did coexist in home villages like yours, Shaphir, which is no longer there for a Jewish-only settlement. There was a land called Palestine where everybody lived in a one-state situation. They were equals under the law. And in 1948, this was taken away. I have talked too long, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, but Mohammed is still with us. I think you can see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Mohammed is telling me on Instant Messenger that he is pleased with the result today and that I should end the program. So I think that means he can tell that he cannot get back on. When I can get this thing ready, I will do that. Okay, there we are. Just want to tell you, as I say, please look under more information below, because Mohammed and his family have decided democratically that they want to emigrate right along with Israel's plans, because they have destroyed the present life possibilities there for them and their children. Now he's coming back to harass me again. But please look under there, because we have a GoFundMe that is now, as of today, 35% in reach of its goal. 35% to pay the different expenses that it would take to take this whole family of 10 people out of the hell of Gaza and into a new life. A mere $10 from you in a very secure internet GoFundMe location. can make all the difference in their world. You want to do something to help? Well, this is the most direct and most honest, helpful way that there is. So I want to close on that. Thank you so much for sticking with us today through this difficult connection problem that seems to emanate from Hamas, Israel, United States, both or all. We're not sure. We just don't have this trouble communicating with the rest of the world. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. We will see you again soon because there's still lots to talk about in Muhammad's book, and we hope you'll take advantage of the links below that will give you direct samples of his work, his thinking, along with 50 plus other programs at my channel at YouTube. Thank you. Peace, kindness, and justice to everybody.